I want you to also, I invite you to
I'll give you 2 minutes because
I want to invite you to whether the exit clause in the post-election agreement has any basis. So, Speaker, I looked at the Political Parties Act 2011. There is nowhere that will stop PA and these other parties from exiting. Let my colleagues tell me which section. Mr. Speaker, you need to look at whether, Speaker, some are telling you that the matter is sub judice. I agree. But Mr. Speaker, Standing Order 89.5 allows you as a Speaker to allow this House to discuss a matter that is in court. So, Mr. Speaker, we are within the parameters of law. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the Speaker uses the Constitution. Use Article 108. This matter is very serious. Forget about coalitions, Mr. Speaker. Deal with the political parties. If you have got 84 members, that is your share as ODM. If you have 145 members, that is the share given to you by the people of Kenya UDA. If you have got 5 or 10, like Kanu, Kamket has left, now you are less shares. If you are PA, there are 3. They want to enjoy their freedom. Mr. Speaker, during your predecessor, he made a ruling on a matter concerning Honorable David Ochieng. When David Ochieng was elected in a small party and coming from ODM stronghold, they refused to give him. That time they were called NASA. You know, they mutate. I'm in this House. From CORD to NASA to Azimio, the mutation and the turnover is so high. You know, it's so high, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what they will be, but Mr. Speaker, the Speaker ruled that Ochieng must be given a committee. So, Speaker, defend PA members. They have the rights under Article 38. So, Speaker, do not look at agreements signed by you. You are at one time, Mr. Speaker, on a lighter note, you were at one time about to join Azimio. But God forbid, you are a good Christian. You didn't join. So, Speaker.
Order, no member shall use Mr. Speaker to advance an argument. The Honorable John Mbadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me first start by saying that I think we have started in the right direction. Why do I say so? Mr. Speaker, by allowing members to ventilate on this matter, to me appears, comes out very clearly that Mr. Speaker wants to benefit from opinions or contributions by members from across the political divide. Mr. Speaker, there are certain things that are not in contention. What is not in contention is, one, that both Kenya Kwanza Coalition and Azimio One Kenya Alliance Coalition are not in dispute on who should lead the two coalitions. That there is just one letter coming from Kenya Kwanza nominating Kimani Ichung'wah as the leader, Owen Baya as the deputy, Honorable Soro as the whip, and of course my great sister as the deputy whip. Again, from the Azimio side, there is no dispute. The leader is Opiyo Wandayi, James Opiyo Wandayi, deputized by Mbui. The whip is Junet Mohammed, to be deputized by Sabina Chege. So that matter is settled. Both sides are clear on who should lead them. So the issue of minutes appended, attached, copies to be provided or submitted to the House rests there. Because unless there was contention as to who has been nominated by either side, then we would be discussing whether there are minutes, there are addendum or whatever it is. So having settled that, Mr. Speaker, what therefore is in contention in this House is which side is the majority. That is where we see the argument from Kimani Ichung'wah and his team and Opiyo Wandayi and his team arguing. Now, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution is not ambiguous. Article 108 talks about the leader of majority being the leader of the party or coalition of parties which has the majority membership in this house. Since it is clear, then what is not clear? What is being disputed here is these two coalitions, which has the majority membership. Now, I have heard the argument that we passed a law in this house that has created chaos or caused chaos. Nothing could be further from the truth, Mr. Speaker. Let us accept the legal framework that we have. We might have been used to the old framework, but what we created at the house was where we can have a political party with corporate membership, and therefore, basically, is a coalition political party and coalition of parties. Mr. Speaker, if you want to argue that Azimio la Umoja One Kenya is a political party and not a coalition of political parties, the question you will want to ask or address yourself to is, what are the legal provisions for registering a political party? The legal provisions are clear. You must have 24,000 members, at least 1,000 from majority of our counties, which are 24. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance was exempted from that. Why? Because it is a corporate political party. Mr. Speaker, when you say that this is not a coalition, the next question you will ask, where in this country, of the 47 counties, does Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance has a registered party office? None. Yet that is a requirement in law to register a political party. The reason why Azimio was accepted to be registered is because it is a corporate political party. So the moment ODM, Wiper, Jubilee, KANU, etc. have registered offices, then Azimio la Umoja, in effect, has registered offices. Mr. Speaker, it is in that same reasoning why Raila Amolo Odinga, when he was presenting his papers to IEBC, was cleared, because there was a requirement that he should present signatures of proposers and supporters. And those signatures must be from members of your political party. Azimio la Umoja does not have even a single direct membership. And therefore, Raila was cleared, having been supported by members of KANU, members of Wiper, members of ODM, members of Jubilee. Therefore, those members of KANU, members of ODM, members of Jubilee are all members of Azimio la Umoja as a corporate entity. The moment you are a member of ODM, by extension, you are also a member of Azimio la Umoja political party. Therefore, this reasoning that there is no member in this house who is a member of Azimio is faulty. You cannot. There is a gentleman in this house. His name is Junet Sheikh Nur Mohammed. This gentleman is the Secretary General of Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition. And he's representing the people of Suna East. And then you come here and argue, and he's registered with the register of political parties as the Secretary General. Then you come here and you want to say that Azimio la Umoja does not even have a single member of parliament. That completely is misrepresentation of facts. Mr. Speaker, Azimio la Umoja was exempted from provisions of Section 5 and Section 6 of the Political Parties Act. Why? Because this is a corporate political entity, political party, which has corporate membership. And that is why we were amending the law here, so that you could provide a situation where a political party is both a political party where you can be a member directly, and at the same time, political parties can be members of that political party. And that is the situation as it obtains today. You can take advantage of it and dissolve all, and make sure that all your political parties are also collapsed into a mega or a bigger political outfit called Kenya Kwanza, without having to just have it as coalition of political parties. Mr. Speaker, you know, Azimio la Umoja is based on coalition agreement, just like any other coalition, like Kenya Kwanza. It is based on coalition agreement. And Mr. Speaker, I listened very carefully, and I was trying to avoid usage of these words, but I'll use it. I'll use them, because Honorable Soro did use them. Honorable Soro was saying that you cannot stop a political party from going to bed with another one. That if someone has married another person, you cannot stop that person from going to bed. Yes, you can't stop anybody from going to bed with another, but you can stop another marriage before the earlier marriage is dissolved. So
someone can go to bed as they so wish. Yes,
but marriage only subsists.
Sorry, Honorable Mbadi, there's a point of order. Give him the mic. There it is.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Mbadi is my mentor. I did not really want to interrupt him. But I now see that this may progress and progress and progress. We have parliamentary language. And that language is using that marriage going into bed, though earlier used by Osoro, is unparliamentary. So please, we could restrain ourselves from that. I'm very sorry, Honorable Mbadi, but you are a seasoned member. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I think Honorable Mboko is uncomfortable with the language, but the language is not unparliamentary. Going to bed is just going to bed. And marriage is marriage. But what I'm saying is you cannot start another marriage until you wind up the previous marriage. So, Honorable Soro, you should advise your new, what do you call them, the new whatever, to make sure that the other marriage is concluded first. But, Mr. Speaker, there was an argument here by Honorable Duale, which you allow me to challenge, that there is something unconstitutional about what we have done in terms of making agreements. There is nothing unconstitutional. Article 92 of the Constitution allows Parliament to enact legislation to provide for the regulation of political parties. And in doing that, we created Political Parties Act, which gave rise within the Act to the agreements. Finally, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say this. As you protect the rights of those members of PAR, MDG, and others who want to leave Azimio, remember there is also the rights of people of Ugenya who elected Ochieng, knowing very well that he was Azimio, and he has not consulted them. So whose right is superior? Is it the on to Kenya?
Your time is up for the Honorable John Mbadi. From now going forward, thank you, Honorable Mbadi. Allow me to regulate.